What is up, everybody? It is Lay the House RM here. It's Tuesday, May 28th. Hopefully, you guys all had an amazing Memorial Day weekend. I, of course, did. My sports bets have been on absolute fire lately. Let's just jump right in, take a look at the results here. So, over the month of May, we are up over $5,300 profit. This is honestly my best month of the year. We're on a really good run right now. We've cashed in 6 out of the last 7 days, 7 out of the last 9 days. Really good profit on this run right now. Hopefully we can keep it up. Now, this is my regular sports bets, underdog fantasy, prize picks. It's pretty much everything all combined here on my Pickett account. And we're just on a really good run right now. So, there's going to be a bad day probably mixing in some point this week. But let's ride the hot streak the best we can until we get there. So, in the beginning of this video, I'm just going to share with you guys, my thought process when it comes to making plays on Underdog Fantasy. I'll show you what I do, how I come up with these value plays on Underdog every single day. And then in a couple minutes, I'll just share my plays with you guys that I've already placed over on Underdog. If you're in the Discord server yet, you probably already saw these plays, but at least, if you're watching this video, you'll see a little background information on how these plays are made. So, first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to head over to Daily Grind or dgfantasy.com. This is their fantasy optimizer tool, and this is basically how I make my picks every single day. What this tool does is it shows me pretty much the prop here. So Nolan Arenado, total bases under 1.5. Okay, so what does this mean? Odds to hit 53.9%. I really don't care much for that. But the important things to me are all these data points over here on the right. So what we're doing here is we're looking at the prop on Underdog Fantasy and comparing it to all the other major sports books. So Pinnacle, FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, BetMGM, BetOnline, etc. And what you're trying to do is just trying to find which play is the best value on Underdog Fantasy. So on a 2-pick entry on Underdog Fantasy, the odds of the parlay is essentially minus 136 odds per play. So like if you made a 2-pick parlay on any sports book at minus 136 odds, it would pay the same on Underdog Fantasy because Underdog Fantasy is going to pay you $60 on 20 no matter what the plays are, unless it's the Scorcher, but I really tend to stay away from Scorchers. On a 3-pick non-insured entry, you're getting minus 122 odds on average. So if you could find 3 plays or even 2 plays that have really good value on minus 122 odds, so I'll show you what that means here in just a second, you'll be getting good value on Underdog Fantasy. So you see Arenado here, or even Luka Doncic. Let's just go with the NBA game tonight. Under 3.5 3-pointers made. You see it's minus 153 on Pinnacle, minus 136 on FanDuel, 130 on DraftKings. Now, if I'm making a play on Underdog Fantasy, 3-pick non-insured, it's minus 122 odds. So I'm getting really good value on this play no matter what because minus 122 is a higher number compared to all these other odds that are across the board. So Underdog Fantasy is essentially behind the market, and you're getting this play at a discount. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. That's what positive expected value betting and daily fantasy and all that really is you're just getting really good value for your plays, and in the long run, it will pay more than it loses. So honestly, let's just take a look at some of these top plays right now. Let me refresh because these lines do move very fast, as you can tell. These top plays I'm sharing with you guys probably won't be the top plays when you go to make your plays at like 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon because the lines are just constantly changing. The markets are constantly changing. So you really want to jump on these pretty quickly if you want to take advantage of the best value. But if you want a tool like this, Daily Run Fantasy, sign up with them using the code LayTheHouseRM. I think they give you like a 35% off discount or whatever. So you can give it a shot and see if you like it. If you have any questions, I'm here to help you guys out. I use this tool pretty much every day, and obviously my results speak for themselves. I think Underdog Fantasy alone, I'm up over $800 on a really small bankroll. So there's a lot of money to be made, and you don't have to risk a lot to make a lot of money. So top play on the board right now, Zach Wheeler under 7.5 strikeouts. We got Arenado under 1.5 total bases. I have that on a play already. Luka under 3.5 3-pointers. And then like more NBA plays, Derek Jones Jr. under on the PRA, Gobert over on the points. So that's just some of the top plays on the board right now. But now let's head over to Underdog Fantasy, and I'll actually share my plays with you guys for tonight's slate. So first pick I made, we're going with Jaden Hardy, lower than 5.5 points. Luka, lower than 3.5 3-pointers made, which we just saw over on the Fantasy Optimizer tool. Really good value right now. And then we're going with Anthony Edwards, higher on 32.5 points and assists. Obviously, he's been absolute shit this series. I mean, he has been really bad, but I'm going to take advantage of the market while it's low. So higher than 32.5 points and assists. He honestly could score over 30 points tonight. Might happen, might not happen, but their backs are against the wall, so they really hope that he starts scoring tonight. Next play that I made, I went with that Zach Wheeler, lower than 7.5 strikeouts. Best MLB play on the board right now. I also added another MLB play, Zach Littell, lower than 2.5 earned runs allowed, and combined it with that Derek Jones Jr., lower on the PRA. So, really good value on these plays, especially on the Wheeler. Not sure if that'll be there much longer, but it's a really good spot right now on Underdog Fantasy for Zach Wheeler, lower than 7.5 strikeouts. And then my third and final play that I made already on Underdog, more NBA and MLB combined. I took advantage of that Nolan Arenado, lower than 1.5 total bases. Obviously, he's been really hot right now, but hopefully he has a cold day tonight. Baseball, anything can happen. I added Rudy Gobert, higher than 10.5 points, which you guys saw on the Fantasy Optimizer here. If you scroll down a little bit, Rudy Gobert over 10.5 points, so good value on that play. And then I added Kyrie Irving, higher than 8.5 rebounds and assists to round it out. So 3 plays in Underdog Fantasy for you guys. I actually don't have any regular sports bets in just yet. Obviously, if you're in my Discord, you'll see my plays as I make them. I expect to probably have maybe another 3 or 4 plays in Underdog Fantasy, maybe one for Dabble, maybe one Prize Picks. I don't know. We'll see. It just depends on what the value is out there. Sports bets, I'll probably have 6 or 7 regular sports bets as well, my normal volume. There's just not a lot of value out there yet, so I'm not going to place any entries until I start seeing some value on the board. But like I said before, if you're in the Discord server, you'll see all the plays right when I make them. So hopefully we can have a really good, profitable day today. I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end. Remember to like and subscribe to the video. Best of luck on your plays today, and thanks for watching.